What's up, spectators? Welcome back to another episode of Ace Attorney 6. We've just finished talking with Dirk inside the prison. Now it's time to go see what the ruckus is outside. What is all this?
Ow, ow, ow! Let go, will ya? What are they?
Huh? Well, look at that. The people are coming to take their courts back.
Don't hold back, man! Arrest them all!
Pretty cool. Dirk belongs to the people. Give him back. Yeah, where are you holding him? Oh, Tammy, don't do that. She's trying to dunk her paws in my water, as she usually does, but then she flicks it and it gets in my eye and it hurts. Come now. Come away, you. They have my big sister, too, but she didn't do anything wrong. Stop pulling my hair. Release my son. Release him now. No biting. This is really something. And it looks like Dats and Mrs. Inmi are leading the charge. You unenlightened fools. Do you honestly think this will change anything? Yuri, why do you keep serving that witch Garen? Hey, Nayuda. You again. What's going on here? It would appear that the insurgents are fanning the flames of rebellion. But I never thought it would grow so large. However, they will all be under arrest shortly. Reinforcements are almost here. They'll be arrested? Just for protesting? They are aiding and abetting a criminal by seeking his release. Her Eminence, Queen Garen, has ordered they be arrested and judged en masse. But weren't you once a member of the Defiant Dragons? How can you go along with this? I am simply following the orders that Her Eminence has handed down. It can't be as simple as that. Listen, Nayuda, there's something I want to talk to you about. You're not getting away this time. We need to talk. I see there's no reasoning with you. Very well then, speak. Do you really have to serve as prosecutor on Dirk's case? I mean, prosecuting your own flesh and blood. It's just not right. Again with this drivel. Your ethical standards are not the be-all, end-all of the world around you. I'm not getting into another debate with him. Nayuda, did you know that Dirk is sick? He apparently doesn't have that much longer to live. It's funny because literally 2 minutes ago, Dirk asked him not to tell people, but he's doing it anyway. If found guilty, he probably wouldn't even make it until his execution day. What are you talking about? Knowing this, are you still prepared to send an already dying man to his grave? Well? Enough with the Zen monk act, Nayuda. Tell me how you really feel. Mr. Justice, each person is born with a role to fulfill. And I must fulfill mine. Well, I'm not convinced that taking Dirk to the trial is a part of your lot in life. As for why you've been at Garen's every beck and call, I think I might have the answer. You know the truth about your mother, don't you? About how the former queen is still alive and being held somewhere. So, Dirk told you, did he? Yes, it's true. My mother was spirited away to some remote corner of this kingdom. To keep her safe from harm. But Dirk said the Garen regime is holding her captive. They are keeping her safe. So you don't know where Amara is being held. I only know that it is some secluded hideaway where visitors are not allowed. I've heard she leads a simple life akin to that of monastic disciples. Ugh. Sure sounds like she's being held captive to me. Listen, Nayuda. Aren't you really doing the Queen's bidding? Because she's holding Amara captive. And this whole thing with Dirk, you know he didn't really kill Inga, don't you? Dirk doesn't have much longer to live, so I want to help him however I can. This time, it's our turn. You could have been killed, but you risked your life to save us. Why? What a silly question. What father wouldn't risk his life to save his own children? Nayuda, Apollo, don't you ever hesitate to call when you need me, understand? It's our turn to help Dirk however we can. What you speak of is futile. Let it go and move on. The guilty verdict, the hopelessness, you must resign yourself to it all. Clinging to false hope now will only serve to magnify your future despair. So let it go and move on. Are you really going to just roll over on this? I've no more time for idle chatter. I must prepare for tomorrow's trial. If you'll excuse me. Apollo. I sensed a whirlpool of emotions coming from within Prosecutor Sadmari just now. Anger, shock, bewilderment, and an icy sorrow as deep and dark as an abyss. I picked up on that too. Looks like Dirk really won't be the only one who'll need my help tomorrow. I think it's about time to pay Queen Garen another visit. And ask her about her sister Amara. Okay, let's go! The Royal Guard isn't around. That is utter hooey! You cannot continue to deceive the people like that. Raifa, justice is much more than simply speaking the truth. Is that Princess Raifa and Queen Garen over there? You deceived me too, Mother. How can I ever believe a word you say again? You nincompoop. Your benevolence. I couldn't help but overhear. You impudent! Oh. It's such a cute sound, but don't... Are you okay, Mr. Wright? Can't believe she actually punched you. Yeah, I'm used to it by now. In fact, he's learning to like it. What's the matter with the princess? It sounded like she was arguing with her mother. Maybe it has something to do with this picture? Raifa said she had to ask her mother about some secret or another as soon as she saw it. So then, does that mean that Princess Raifa knows what really happened? That Amara wasn't assassinated and is still very much alive? It would seem so, and she doesn't seem to be taking Garen's lies very well. What is going on back there? I feel like my cats are surfing on a cardboard box and now it's right behind me, which is crazy because it was across the room. It's a big box. You want to cut that out? It's a mess. It's a huge mess. That's no surprise, considering how much... Would you chill out? Hey! Considering how much Raifa reveres her mother. That would definitely cause her a great deal of anguish and sadness. Eavesdropping, are we? How very rude. Are you not Dirk's son? Nice to meet you, Your Eminence. We're actually here to speak with you if you could spare a moment. Your Eminence, Dirk told me about Amara. About how she's still alive, that is. We know not of what you speak. After Dirk learned Amara was still alive, he rescued her and they ran off together. But she was captured and remains captive in a secret location to this day. As for Nayuda doing your bidding, it's only because Amara's life is in your hands. What an active imagination you have! Ha 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 ha! A lawyer and a comedian, how droll. Where'd they come from? Anyway, if she's gonna play dumb, I'll just have to jog her memory with some evidence. Your Eminence, I ask that you take a look at this photo. It's a photo of Amara. And here you can see a law book bearing the mark of the Defied Dragons. I believe you know what that means. Very well. Royal Guards, stand down. Yes, Your Eminence. Your wish is our command. It seems there's no need to perpetuate this charade any longer. We shall speak of all we know. So then, you admit that Amara's still alive? Yes, she's under our protection in a safe location. I think you mean being held prisoner. And where is she being kept? Now, why would we tell you, the son of a traitor, that? Guess she has a point there. Now heed our warning, Horned Devil. It would not be wise to inform the people that Amara yet lives. It would only serve to plunge public order into chaos. I have no intention of doing that. Besides, there are real terrorists out there who might try to kill her. Good. Now, there was something we have been meaning to ask you. Do you know what has become of the Founder's Orb? The Founder's Orb went missing after Dirk took it into the tomb. As his son, we thought you might know something of its current whereabouts. I knew it. I suppose I should thank you for that free running tour of Kurain. That was the Royal Guard's own doing. Nice try, lady. But now you're definitely not getting the orb, ever. Why do you want the orb so badly anyway? Because it would be most dangerous in the wrong hands. It must be recovered. Is the legend true? Can the orb really impart spiritual power? Are you worried that someone could overthrow you with it? The Holy Mother's power is without equal. Should Her Holiness once again return to our world, she could conceivably bestow great power upon the one who unlocked the orb's secret. I guess it makes sense, considering spirit channeling is a fact of life here. So we ask you, Horned Devil. Did you receive the Founder's Orb from Dirk? Does it look like I did? So you like to play games, do you? Royal Guard! Yes, Your Eminence. Search this devil and his belongings. At once, Your Eminence. Cut it out! Apollo, don't strip here! Stop resisting! Just submit to our strip search already. No, wait! Hey, cut it out! Rest in pieces, my poor tattered dignity. There's no sign of the Founder's Orb, Your Eminence. So, you've hidden it somewhere. No matter, we shall recover it one way or another once you're found guilty of abetting the accused. Dirk is right. She really is bent on getting the orb. Looks like the princess is back. I took a stroll to calm myself, but I still find this situation unacceptable. The people must be informed about Queen Amara. So she does know about that. Rafa, you do not yet possess a clear grasp of how government— Ah! Tammy, stop! There will always be secrets that must be kept from the ignorant masses. No, Take, stop! You have little faith in our people, Mother. But it is the royal priestess's duty to always speak the truth. And as such, I cannot remain silent. I will not! The truth, you say. Your mind has been poisoned by the barbed one. It was an honor and a pleasure, Your Eminence. We must speak with our child. It is a mother's duty to discipline her child after all. Now, if you'd excuse me. Coming from her, I don't like the sound of that at all. Well, Apollo, let's head back to the safe house for now. Good idea. We need to go over what we found and collect our thoughts. You're back! Thank you for holding down the fort, Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth. Sorry it took so long. Hope you weren't too bored. I watched The Plume Punisher, Warrior of Neo Twilight Realm while you were gone. Oh, jeez, they knocked down my power supply. Oh, God. I was wondering why I heard this loud thud. I'm amazed my computer's still on. How'd they do that? The thing weighs like 30 pounds. And my verdict is, it's an outrage, especially its theme song. Even worse, the people here believe it's an original. Crying show. Can you believe it? I've already spoke about it at length with Mr. Arbel here. Not sure what he's babbling about, but at least it seems he wasn't bored. Moving along to things that actually matter. We've gathered about all the information and evidence we can concerning this case. I think it's time we go over everything we've learned so far. The Orb Trial, Maya's abduction, and the murder of the mastermind behind it all, Justice Minister Inga. It's a lot to consider. Think you have all the facts straight in your head? I got it covered, Mr. Wright. It's the truth about what really went down that's going to be the problem. It's like the more we learn about this case, the less we understand. I agree. There's a deep darkness enveloping this case. I'm almost afraid of what we will find once we lift that black veil. Suffice to say, the real killer is certainly waiting underneath. The real killer, huh? Now that's the million-dollar question. Who killed Inga and why? Think, Apollo. Who would you say had a motive to commit this crime? I, for one, am drawing a complete blank. I want to know how the killer slipped into the tomb, killed Inga, and slipped back out. Without ever being seen. That's a bona fide locked room mystery right there. Well, we've collected plenty of evidence and statements. I just hope the rest comes out in court. It'll be a thinner tightrope than usual, that's for sure. This case is one big fly in the ointment. In order to prove Dirk completely innocent, we'll also have to exonerate him of the crime committed 23 years ago. Amara's supposed assassination. Right. We know Amara's still alive, but Dirk could still be charged with plotting to kill her. He couldn't discover the truth even after over 2 decades of investigating. So our biggest hurdle is going to be the complete lack of evidence. The fire made sure of that. Mr. Wright, have you ever won a case without any evidence? No, that's one thing I've never done before. A trial unprecedented even in the decorated annals of the Wright Anything Agency. Still, I can't help but wonder, was there really no evidence left behind? And we can't forget about the Defense Culpability Act. Those who would support criminals will be deemed just as guilty. In short, if Dirk is found guilty and is sentenced to death, we'll likely join him in a very public execution. Beat the charges or die. What kind of crazy upside-down legal system is this anyway? Don't worry, I can't ask someone as young as you to risk your life, Athena. So tomorrow it'll just be me and Apollo on the courtroom floor. But you can support us by watching from the gallery. No! I want to help! I'm part of the agency too, after all. Sorry, but this is a direct order from your boss. Plus, there's Prosecutor Blackwell to think of. He said he'd use me for sword practice if I put you in harm's way. Well, at least promise me this, you two. Promise me you'll make it back alive. Make it back alive, huh? What's with that face, Apollo? We'll never inspire confidence in your client like that. And it'll play right into the prosecution's hands. Remember, the worst of times are when lawyers have to face their biggest smiles. You're right. Even when it seems hopeless or when there's not a shred of evidence to be found. We could never let it show on our faces, right? But will I actually be able to do that tomorrow? When push comes to shove, will I be able to force my biggest smile? It's court time, baby. Well, that was fast. We win! It's complete chaos outside. Let's just say the Defiant Dragon supporters demonstrating for Dirk's freedom have taken a very special interest in the outcome of today's trial. Look about ready to string us up if we lose. Trials here are pretty much like the ones back home, but with one major difference. The divination seance. The victim's final memories will become a matter for deliberation. I've heard about that. But they haven't stopped you from winning your cases here in Kurain. True, but it wasn't easy. Still, the memories of the dead are simply another piece of evidence. There's always a way to deal with them if your client is truly innocent. Well, I know Dirk is innocent, but... I have one more big secret. In court tomorrow, you may find yourself faced with a truth that's difficult to accept. But I know you, and I know you can handle the truth no matter what it turns out to be. I know that because I believe in you. You're my son, after all. What is that secret you're keeping? Hey, AJ! Here you go, just like I promised, out in the open. Here's that orb I've been hiding for ya! Thanks, Stats! Weren't you arrested by the police yesterday? And I spent the night in the slammer. I had a fine meal, a shower, even a bed. What more could I ask for? That actually sounds way better than where we're staying. Just remember, AJ, if Dirk's found guilty today, we'll all probably be found guilty under the DCA too. Yeah, Nayuta said something to that effect. That witch Garen wants to take advantage of today to crush our revolution once for all. The fate of the revolution and every Kurainese person rests on this trial. We're counting on you, AJ. We'll be fine. I'm gonna win this one, you'll see. The trial will begin shortly, Apollo. Let's make our way into the courtroom. Right. Let the trial of Dirk Sadmati begin. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Majesty. So it's really come down to this. Well, don't expect me to hold anything back, Nayuta. This trial will examine both the murder of Justice Minister Inga and the assassination of the former Queen Amara. First, I believe we should address the murder of Minister Inga. Would that be acceptable, Prosecutor Sadmati? Sadmati? Yes, of course. Please proceed. What's with him? How very unlike you, Prosecutor. Is your mind elsewhere this day? Not at all, Your Majesty. Are you really going to be able to go through with this? Well, Sadmati, I'd be remiss if I failed to voice a concern of mine. I've heard mention that you're son to the accused, Dirk Sadmati. You've heard true. Does that fact pose some sort of problem, Your Majesty? A father being prosecuted by his own son. Could one possibly deliberate such a case without having personal feelings intervene? Yes, without question.
Objection!
Dirk? Fellow citizens, you'd do well not to underestimate my son. He's not one to allow personal feelings to interfere with the execution of his duty. Isn't that right, Nayuta? I will not stop until my work here is done. See? So all of you doubters just sit back down before you trip over your own stupidity. The accused will not take the stand without first being summoned. In any case, if Prosecutor Sadmati has no issue with this arrangement, then let us commence the deliberations.
Objection!
One moment, if you would. Your Eminence. What brings you here? Your Majesty, it would appear that Prosecutor Sadmati does indeed have some reservations. That's not true. Did you truly believe you could deceive me? One should hold no reservations if one's to stand on these hallowed funerary grounds. I have none, Your Emin. No, it's clear we cannot leave this matter to you. We shall handle the prosecution of enemy of the crown, Dirk Sadmati, personally, but remain by our side and bear witness to how a true prosecutor enforces the law. Excuse me, but is the Queen going to prosecute the case? Is that, kosher? There's no need for concern. Before we were crowned Queen, we served as a prosecutor. As a foreigner, your ignorance can be excused, but know this. The prosecutor in charge of the Queen Amara assassination case 23 years ago was none other than Her Eminence, Queen Garen. First Your Majesty, and now this. Why doesn't anyone ever tell me these things? I'd heard she'd served as the Minister of Justice, but she was also a prosecutor. I'm guessing she probably moved up the ladder from prosecutor to Justice Minister. We prosecuted that case 23 years ago, but no verdict was ever rendered. We had won guilty verdicts in every case until then, for no lawyer could stand up to us. I am at a loss for words. To think I would once more bear witness to Her Eminence at work in the Hall of Justice. Our first trial in 23 years. No quarter shall be given to criminals. We shall prosecute them with all our might. Wow, she looks so kind. I mean, really. A skin-tight unitard? Come on, now. Well, that seems like a pretty decent cliffhanger to me! So why don't we save it for the next episode? Stay tuned, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye!